Hey everyone, it's Claire again. This is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores or to antique stores or to estate sales or a whole bunch of places, and I look for things that bring me joy and I buy them and I find out everything that I can find out about them, and then I do a video and tell you all about it. So today I've got something kind of nice, and it's probably going to be a bit difficult to show, so let's have a go. It is this. Now, I'm pretty sure this is going to be quite difficult to actually get on the camera because it is so tiny, but we're going to have a go. You can see there. This is a very small green bead. It is made of green glass. It is tiny. I get my ruler. You can see it is barely, not even 3/4 of an inch long, and I'd say even smaller than that. Now, to make things actually easier to show you about this, I've actually got some pictures of it that I took in a close-up, so there we go. This will make it a little bit easier just to kind of to see the thing, so I don't have to keep trying to hold it up to the camera. Okay, so what is this? This is a very tiny little bead. It is made out of an opaque green glass. It's hard to see, but it has two very small holes, so there would have been two threads going through it originally. It is probably slightly, it's been carved, I can see at the sides, but I think that's actually just to round it off. It would have been, I think, pressed glass originally. It is very well made pressed glass. It's also got this gold inlay. I don't think it's real gold, unfortunately. Now, I had a hell of a time trying to find out anything about this, but I did eventually find out what it is and where it came from. To start with anyway, I paid $35 for this in an antique store, and at the time I had no idea what it was, and the guy that I bought it from also had no idea what it was. All we knew is it's some kind of a bead. And I managed to find out some very interesting things about it after a lot of Googling and a lot of even just asking questions in a few places. And what I found out about this bead is it comes from about the 1920s-ish. It was originally made by one of two brothers, the Neiger or Neiger, I'm not pronouncing that right, Neiger brothers. These were two brothers from Czechoslovakia in a town called Gablonz. I hope I'm probably not pronouncing that right either. They would have started making jewelry sometime around 1905. They became very well known for it as well. Czech beads, especially around like the Art Deco period, would have been very well known for producing like really fine beadwork of that era. Now, so how do we know that this bead is from the 1920s-ish? Because the Neiger brothers they're making beads and quite well known for it since about 1905. However, what happened in the 1920s? In 1922, Tutankhamun's tomb was opened, and that triggered the Egyptian revival period. Now, Egyptian revival is a little bit weird because the whole Egyptomania thing is incredibly weird. And if you've never heard about this, I highly recommend that you look it up because it's weird, and to be honest, I find it incredibly creepy because effectively the Victorians just decided to go to Egypt and start buying everything that wasn't nailed down that had to do with ancient Egypt, and it took it back to England to do stuff with it. The mummy unwrapping parties that I've heard about is easily the creepiest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and all of it is just like, ugh. Anyway, the Egyptian revival or whatever is like this obsession that kind of triggered off as the news of the opening of King Tut's tomb and the stuff that was found in it kind of triggered this obsession or whatever, and this like people wanted obviously replicas of all of that fine jewelry, all of the fine stuff that was in the tomb. They wanted stuff that was like that, and this was part of like how the Neiger brothers became popular. They started to create jewelry like this, and a lot of it was very high quality. And even now you can start to, you can still buy these lovely, lovely little beads. Not what I paid for it. You don't have to pay $35 per bead. You can buy them much cheaper than that if you really like this one. Highly recommend looking them up. The very sad thing about this, I'm quite sure that this bead was made sometime in the 1920s, and unfortunately for the Neiger brothers, they were working up to about like 1939, and then the Second World War started. The kind of end of their story unfortunately happened in 1942 when they were killed by the Nazis in Auschwitz. And from the best of my knowledge and from some of my reading, their entire family was killed because obviously they were Jews. So what I have here is not just a beautiful little bead. It is a piece of art made by some very talented people whose lives were unfortunately cut short by fascism. And with that in mind, I will not be getting rid of this. This is going into my personal collection and it will stay there in their memory. I'm very glad that I found it and I got to find out their story, and it's so that at least that they would be remembered. And I hopefully with all of the beautiful beads that are still around, their art, the things that obviously that they made and they loved, that they will obviously still be remembered. So this is the little joyful thing that I have today. It's a bit sad as well, but I have to say that I really like the fact that that it's so small, it's so delicate, it's so precious, and in spite of everything that happened, it did survive, and it got all the way to Vancouver, and now I get to show it to you guys. So thanks very much, and yeah, I hope this brings you joy too. I'm going to leave some links in the description where you can read about the Neiger brothers if you feel like it, and you know, look around at some of their jewelry. A lot of it is very fine and it's very beautiful. So thanks very much.